Hot Pack fans, Jeff Gravely here, hopping on the Zoom mobile with NC State head football coach Dave Doeren. Coach, I already see you've got a quarantine beard going.
I do. Just trying to change it up a little bit.
Looks good. I started one, and it was so gray right here, I decided, nah, I'm not going to do that.
It doesn't make you look younger, I can say that.
Exactly. Well, look, I had to go to the closet, and I almost wore this that you presented me on my last week of work, but I couldn't squeeze into it, so I'll just leave it in for a display.
It's a tight fit.
So on these interviews I've been doing, the first question is, what you been doing? How you been filling the time?
I got a routine, depending on where we're at in the week, but just I'm working out every day. I'm staying in touch with our staff, with our players, with recruits, using all the different resources we have from, Zoom, obviously, to FaceTime, to phone calls, and our staff has daily meetings with our kids now, and we're allowed to do that. And, between me and Coach Thunder and our coaching staff, our guys are getting connected with a lot. And then our academic staff obviously is in touch with them. So there's a lot of day-to-day contact, and then we're having a team Zoom meeting on Fridays, which is kind of interesting, 140 people on there, but doing the best we can.
Exactly. So is that kind of the most challenging thing, to stay in touch, or is it just the uncertainty of, are these guys going to be able to stay in football shape?
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns. Obviously, the first one's their health and just making sure the guys are okay and that they've got the resources they need, from food to shelter to healthcare if that's needed. The academic staff does a great job with these guys. And, I told them our number one goal is to have everyone return here whenever that is, healthy and in great academic standing. From an athletic standpoint, we're not allowed to mandate anything, so we can just send them workouts we'd like them to do. Some of them have gyms in their garage. Some of them have a high school they're still allowed to go to. Some of them are just doing body weight exercises and running in parks or streets. And so it is kind of a throwback to how we used to train, probably 20 years ago, before guys really stayed around in the summers. It's kind of back into that time.
You guys were able to have 5 spring practices. Did that help at all, having at least 5 as opposed to none at all?
No, I think it was really helpful. In multiple ways. We have a lot of new staff, so letting us work together and feel that out and get used to the routine that we have, and being able to troubleshoot things and add new ideas from the other schools the guys came from, because there's a lot of ways to do things. And then just getting familiar with the players for our staff and for the guys to, we have every year a lot of mid-year kids that move in. So it was a chance for them to take the strength and conditioning to the field, and for us to be able to judge where they're at and what we need to really spend time on them with, if we're allowed to this summer.
True. How long do you think it would take to prepare for a season, if you were to go into the fall and have a season?
It just depends on how long they're gone. I do think in a normal summer, you really have, for us, half of May, all of June, and all of July. That's what Thunder usually operates under from a training standpoint. And so we're just going to have to be creative. Obviously we don't get the magic wand of saying we need them here May 15th, make it happen, So whatever they tell us, we're just going to have to come up with ways to do it. And hopefully the NCAA is going to be flexible with allowing us to have, different ways to be out there with them. And normally we can't coach them with a ball all summer long, and so maybe allowing us to have some things where we can train our guys with the football without pads, just to get them back in football shape and catch up a little bit.
What have you been able to do with this time that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do under normal circumstances when you're in April and May preparing for football?
I've never had this kind of family time, for one. I think it's been tremendous for Sarah and me and the boys. The amount of time I'm able to spend reading has been great. Even just being a part of church service every Sunday, even though we're doing it online, I haven't been able to do that. There's just a lot more reflection time, a lot of conversations you normally be having face-to-face, you're now doing a different way. But I do think it's, for everybody, hopefully they're taking some time to reflect and have some stillness and quiet in their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
that part I think has been great. You know, again, I said this at some point in another interview. I think this is God's way of telling us all we needed to slow down, I think. And, you know, for me, it's been great family wise.
Have you sharpened your teaching skills at home with your boys?
You know what? They're pretty good on these computer things. I mean, more than anything, it's just making sure that they don't miss on when they're turning things in. And they've been good so far, but it's been interesting. You know, I mean, we get up in the morning and they're sitting in their beds on their laptops going to school, you know, and then they come out and eat, and then they go back to their desk. And then, you know, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, they're like, all right, we're done. You know, it's got to find ways to stay active with them.
Now, have you been able to socially distance yourself enough to do a little fishing?
Absolutely. I came up with a term for people that boat, you know, that go out fishing and boating. But social distancing now is, you know, you go out on a boat and distance yourself from other people. But yeah, we've been getting in some fishing here and there, particularly, you know, early or late in the day. But it's a good way to get out, be a part of nature, and relax.
What have you observed through this unprecedented situation that maybe inspires you?
You know, I think it's the first time in my life that you've seen the entire world go through something at the same time, where everybody's affected by it. And I think everybody's trying to work together. You're seeing different countries send things. You know, I think today China sent a ton of medical supplies over. And so you're seeing the world really work with each other and for each other for the first time in my life that I can remember, where it was this jointed, I think, an effort, which I think is pretty unique, you know, for us to have that.
We all crave answers, but unfortunately, there are not a lot of answers. How many contingency plans have you worked up as you try to move forward and get ready for what could happen in the fall?
You know, early on, we were trying to do that, and then it just seemed like we were wasting time, because every day what you thought was going to be a great idea was out the window, and the information changes so rapidly right now. We've kind of asked, and we're having an ACC coaches call this Thursday. We asked last week, you know, can we have some scenarios for the summer? Like plan A is June, plan B is July, plan C is August, and just so that we can, like you're saying, have some things concrete on our end if they do allow those things to happen, where they can return to campus. So we'll have some progress on that, I hope, this week, just to have some different scenarios lined up.
So what's your game plan for the rest of the day?
I've got several of these meetings here, administrative things. You know, the biggest part of this that behind the scenes is crazy, you know, is just we've got 120 some players that we're all expecting to be living on campus or in housing somewhere in Raleigh. Some of their leases are expiring, some of them aren't. 30 some players have things stuck in a dorm room that they can't get to. And when are they supposed to get that out? Where are we going to send it? Because they may not be back. And so we're trying to get a lot of answers right now. And a lot of parents, a lot of players just wondering, what are we going to do here, you know, with our summer leases?
You not only have the responsibility of your family, but your football family as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Keep working on that beard, keep fishing, and go plant those trees.
Yeah, well, we're going to get some trees planted today. We got 5 trees coming in. Hopefully I'll be digging holes the rest of the afternoon. We'll see. But I appreciate it, and all the Wolfpack fans out there, you know, stay safe, take care of each other, stay connected, and do the best you can through this. And hopefully we'll be on the backside of it shortly.